Welcome everyone. Ben Legacy back here with you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. So, a little more than a couple of weeks ago, there were these four college students, University of Idaho. They were slain, absolutely stabbed to death with a switchblade. That was the weapon of choice. This story is definitely captivating the audience of America because of how these people were slain, these students, these young adults. Very tragic indeed. People like to mostly point to the fact that it's personal. It could be personal or it could be random. You could have some psychopath out there just slaying people. But anyway, it's been a couple of weeks and there's a lot of moving parts to this investigation. They haven't really said anything of significance to give the community any sense of reassurance that this isn't going to happen to them, that they won't be sleep. I mean, I'm sure people in Idaho and around the campus are maybe sleeping a lot lightly now if they're not like out of the city or out of that territory already. But anyway, four college white students, and I'm bringing in their race because we got to get all hands on deck with this. The FBI is involved now, and when someone is killed in such a personal way, you know, the the weapon of choice was not a gun; it was a switchblade. So the fact that they felt that they can get up close and personal with someone to kill them, and they must have knew that they were sleeping or something like that. Anyway, supposedly, long story short, I really want to narrow this down. Supposedly, this happened November 12th. Not supposedly, this did happen November 12th, the early morning of November 12th. Couple of girls, there's surveillance. Couple of girls, they were out the night before. The girls who got slain, they went to a taco truck. They had taco truck surveillance. They got their food. There was a suspicious character kind of doing some hand signals that supposedly I guess he's off of the radar now for some reason. There's a personal private driver who drove them home from their event that night, their little outing, the girls that is, and then those are the two girls who got slain. So altogether there were six people in the house. Four of them got slain, two upstairs, two downstairs, and there were still two more downstairs in a room downstairs, I believe, where they were unharmed, completely unharmed. Slept like a baby through four personal stabbings, and you were able to sleep through that. I mean, that's really suspicious to me. The fact that they the authorities say that 911 was called using one of the one of the roommates' phone instead of saying one of the roommates particularly called 911 is troubling too and raises eyebrows. So there's a lot of moving parts to this investigation. A lot of stuff they're keeping tight-lipped about and quiet about. I get it. They don't want to compromise their investigation, and because of that, you got some of the you got some of the community kind of in uproar because they're not giving enough information. They would like for them to give some information where they feel like the community is safe, like they can have some type of solace that this won't happen to them and they won't get slain, as I mentioned before, while they slept. So they're handling it. The FBI is on deck. They got a shit ton of people investigating this, and they're really trying not to spook. They had 113 pieces of evidence found in the house, and they got something. They got something. The fact the FBI is involved, you can get all the when you drive, you can get all the surveillance and all the movement. So they smarter than you think. They smarter than you think. Let's watch this little clip real quick where it has somebody asking questions about the damn investigation.
If there's one in the room. So let's start with the Argonaut, please.
James Torment Aldrich with the...
So we would like to open it up to any questions, but I would like to ask if there's an Argonaut reporter here that would like to ask. And then second after that, an Evergreen reporter, if there's one in the room. So let's start with the Argonaut, please.
James Torment Aldrich with the Argonaut. I have two questions, if that's all right. Firstly being what the police presence is going to look like after Thanksgiving break and how long that's going to last.
So I'll go ahead and answer. The police presence is going to be very heavy after the break. We have Idaho State Patrol that will also still be in the area, and you'll see a high impact of patrol officers and troopers, as well as Latah County Sheriff's Department personnel in the area.
And then secondly, will there be any possibility of the release of the 911 phone call, even in transcript form?
Not at this time. That's part of our investigation.
Frankie Beer, the Daily Evergreen. I guess the Moscow PD press release mentioned looking into hundreds of pieces of information about Kaylee's potential.
See, typically they quick to release the 911 call, so they didn't release it this time because he said that it's part of the investigation. I don't know. Maybe when the roommate called or whoever called, it was suspicious. Like I said, how two people gonna sleep in a house where four other people getting slain and there's defensive wounds found on them according to the autopsy and the coroner report. I'm sure they was yelling for their life. Dog was up in there. You mean to tell me you didn't hear nothing?
Stalker.
Oh.
I was wondering what led you to believe she did have a stalker possibly, and why those pieces of information haven't come up with conclusive results.
I'm actually going to let Captain Lanier answer this question, okay?
I wanted to get to
Thank you, Chief.
that one question.
We obtained information through some of our interviews that Kaylee had made time frame information.
There was
The
one.
attack. Why not tell the
There we
public
go.
who was
That's
targeted?
what I
If
wanna
it-
hear.
Tell the public. Sir, why not tell the public
This is the type of questioning we need.
who the target was? You've said that this was a targeted attack. Why not tell the public who was targeted? If it was multiple people, it would go a long ways to telling the public what you're looking for and who you're looking for, the type of person you're looking for. Why not do that to alleviate some of the fears out there in the community?
Well, first and foremost, we have the integrity of the investigation to preserve. And we feel like that information
Them dudes
is
look like
integral
twins right there, don't
to
they?
us and how we conduct our
They
investigation.
look like
Releasing that to the
twins,
public
identical
may or may
twins.
not flood us with a lot of information that's not relevant or specific to what we're looking at. So
Want more information from the public?
we do want more information, but we don't want to put our investigation in jeopardy by releasing what we have. There's always a balance between what you're willing to release versus what you're trying to gather. We told the public very clearly from the beginning that we're looking for a knife. We've told the public very clearly from the beginning that we believe it was a targeted attack. I mean, to be honest, you're going to have to trust us on that at this point, because we're not going to release why we think that.
Well, that's helpful.